weeks I've been here in Golders Green in the aftermath of an anti-Semitic attack. There is no question our country's Jewish community is under attack, and all we get from the government are warm words. What we need are tough actions, including police patrolling in this area on a sustained basis. Iran are behind some of these attacks. We need to expel Iranian diplomats and spies. There is also evidence that foreign nationals, foreign citizens, are bringing anti-Semitic views into this country. So any foreign citizen who expresses anti-Semitic views, support for terrorism or support for extremism should be deported from this country. And we also need counter-terrorism surveillance techniques, including signal intercept, mobile phone tapping, to be used in order to identify and disrupt anti-Semitic plots before they happen. It is unacceptable that this keeps on happening time and time again on these streets in Golders Green, but across the country. There was that terrible murder in Manchester. Words are no longer enough. We need tough action.
And what words do you have for those who have been impacted by today's round?
Well, I mean, my heart goes out to the two victims. I think it could easily have been fatal. I was just talking to the Hatzola ambulance service who helped save those two victims, and had the knife wound been just a little bit one side or the other, it could have been fatal. I also met the volunteers from Shomron who were on the scene very, very quickly, and they helped the police detain the perpetrator, the terrorist. And if they hadn't been able to do that, he would almost certainly, well, he would have attacked other people, and we could have had multiple fatalities. So huge thanks goes to Shomron and the police for intervening so quickly.
Do you think our government's handling this attack well?
No, I don't think it is. I think the government come up with warm words, but they don't come up with action. Where is the surge in policing in Golders Green and other Jewish areas? Why haven't the Iranian diplomats and spies been expelled? Why hasn't the IRGC been prescribed? Why aren't foreign extremists and anti-Semites being deported, which they should be? These are the actions that need to be taken, yet the government isn't doing it. All we get are warm words. We don't get action.
What would you do differently?
Well, I just explained some of the things I would do. Expel Iranian diplomats and spies, prescribe the IRGC, flood Jewish areas with police patrols to protect the community, and deport people expressing anti-Semitic or extremist views where they're not British citizens. Those are the actions that would actually, I think, make a difference.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling shocked and sad to be here on these streets once again. Just 100 yards behind me, I was here a few weeks ago in the aftermath of the attack on the Hatzola ambulance service, and I've spoken to people in the community who say they feel afraid. I spoke to someone who said his brothers and sisters have left the United Kingdom. That makes me sad and ashamed that people feel they have to leave our country, which has traditionally been a place that the Jewish community can feel safe. I want that to change. That has to change, because that is not the country I want the United Kingdom to be. The Jewish community should feel safe here, and it makes me ashamed that they don't.
Are you surprised by these cases?
I think when you have countries like Iran agitating here, sponsoring anti-Semitic attacks, and you have people entering the country bringing anti-Semitic views with them, I'm afraid, and you have a government which apparently doesn't take a tough enough approach to these things. You have the leader of the Green Party saying that anti-Semitism is merely a perception and not a reality. And I'm afraid it's not surprising, and that is why we need a radically different approach. We need tough action from the government. We need real leadership to change this appalling situation and turn back the tide of anti-Semitism and defeat it permanently.
Thank you, Kemi.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Security Trust is one organisation that does get funding. I think Stronger too as well. They've been particularly focused on the Orthodox community who are visibly Jewish. The government has said that they want to do more. That's one small thing that they could do. What has been happening so far has not been enough.
Well, people here, of course, say that lots of marches take place almost weekly, where people are chanting the most hideous of anti-Semitic messages. That this is the reality on the ground. Is it time for the authorities to get action?
Yes, absolutely. And I've written about this. It is time to ban those marches. When they were initially ignored, they were protesting about a war in the Middle East. Now it's quite clear they're used as a cover for violence and intimidation against Jews. Anything where we are seeing hateful language being used to harm, to kill Jews, slogans like "from the river to the sea," we all know what this means. It is talking about wiping Jews off the face of the earth, wiping Israel off the map. This is absolutely wrong. And there is so much more that we need to do to create a safe environment for Jews in this country. There's always been a safe haven for Jews. What is changing? We're seeing a lot of people bringing in anti-Semitic attitudes from other countries. If they are not British, then racism needs to be removed. We need to tackle Islamic extremism. We also need to look at what the Iranian embassy is doing, for example, saying that people should sacrifice their children and martyr their children to the cause. All of this is creating a climate of harm and intimidation in Jewish people.
And yet we still do not have the Islamic Revolutionary Conflict described. The government needs to leave this down.
So I have said to the Prime Minister that I'm willing to work with him to do this on the IRGC. It is very clear that we are seeing foreign influence increasing anti-Semitism all over the UK. We saw the horrific attacks in Philp Park, 2 people lost their lives. Now we see this happen in Golders Green. I was here just a few weeks ago visiting some of the shops just around the corner, and people were telling me that they are scared. It's no surprise that they're scared. The person who firebombed those ambulances in Philp has been released on bail. How is that the full force of the law? They need to be put in prison. We need stronger sentences. As it stands, they may not even get a custodial sentence. We need to see that people are being punished for this activity, that we will not tolerate this sort of behaviour. We have to stand for this climate of fear and intimidation against Muslims. This is a national emergency.
You failed to keep the Jewish community safe,
Commissioner, the Jewish community has heard statements from you before.
They're calling for you to resign, Commissioner,
They've
and
heard
you failed.
statements from the politicians before. Do you think that visibly Jewish people are safe on the streets of London?
This is an awful attack today. It is completely understandable why Jewish Londoners feel afraid. That's why we're putting so much extra policing into these events, and we're going to be looking at what more we can do over the forthcoming weeks.
You've lost
What do
their
you say to
faith.
these people who are saying resign and shame on you?
First anti-Semitic attack that's been declared a terrorist.
Thank you, Commissioner. I just want to add a few words. What we've heard, what we say, my thanks to not just the police, but our first responders, the Hatzalah, the Shomrim, who intervened, even worse things happening. But I want to say this. I want to say this to everybody listening, and specifically to the British Jewish community. It's the solidarity we need to see from our allies everywhere. This isn't a fight for just the police, for just government, for just the Jewish community. I understand the anger. I understand the anger, I understand the anxiety, because the fear is real. It's felt right across the Jewish community. And what government is hearing, what our police are hearing, and what our allies are hearing. I've had messages from vicars, from imams, from people right across the community, from civil society, that they stand in solidarity with the Jewish community.